What is the essence and the purpose of self inquiry? It is to realize our true nature, our self. Our false nature is what we always take ourselves to be, the body mind complex, the body with its image, with its relationships with other bodies and other things, the physical sensations and sense perceptions, the mental thoughts and emotions, and the externalized words and actions. And in each case, we take ourselves to be the body or to be the relation, such as father or mother, with other bodies, or the owner with other things, such as a car or house or whatever, such as a perceiver of sense perceptions of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, as the thinker of thoughts, or as the speaker of words and doer of actions. So, in each case, if you notice clearly, our sense of I keeps on changing. This alone is a clue that it's our false nature, because it never remains the same I. It seems to take on different avatars based on different situations. So the question is, first of all, what's the problem with that? The problem with that is that because all the various ways in which we identify as I are all with things and people and thoughts and perceptions which are all impermanent. They are all of the nature of coming and going. So they all entail some pleasure followed by pain and suffering. And therefore, since we identify with the body, with people, with things, with sensory pleasures, with ideas, with actions, all of these have a certain span of life and they go and they leave suffering in their wake. So this is the lot of our general condition. Now the question is there a true nature which is not having this quality of coming and going and therefore free of suffering? That is the very purpose and essence of self-inquiry. Because to be free of suffering is really the thing that we are subconsciously always looking for. Even through the false nature, we are constantly moving from one situation to another to escape the suffering and to look for happiness, without realizing that every situation is a false situation because it's impermanent. So the intelligent question to ask is there something that is permanent, which is my true nature, or is there no escape from this suffering? So that investigation is self-inquiry. And we simply have to examine all these situations where our false nature manifests in order to recognize our true nature. That is as simple as that, the real essence of self-inquiry. So if we take our bodily image, or our physical sensations, or thoughts, or actions, in each case, there is an awareness in which these unfold. For us to be aware of our body, for us to be aware of our relations, our sense perceptions, thoughts, words, emotions, actions, there has to be a light of awareness that permeates these activities. That light of awareness is not coming from anywhere else but from our own being. If we carefully investigate, we notice that there is a spark of awareness that permeates all activities, and only through this awareness, this light of awareness, are we even aware of all the various activities and images and perceptions and so on. So, this light of awareness is common to all activities, all perceptions, all situations, and furthermore, it remains unaffected by it. It's prior to all activities because in order for an activity to happen or a perception to happen, there has to be awareness first. And it is also unaffected by the activity because the activity simply comes and goes, and the next activity or the next situation comes, but the awareness still remains the same. So it's much like a light that animates a screen, and the images on the screen keeps on changing, but the light remains unaffected. So that is how the light of awareness, which is our own being because we are aware, and in the light of our own awareness unfolds the drama of life. And therefore, this light of awareness is our true nature. And that is the main pointer of self inquiry. So, when we trace where all activities are happening, where is the I that perceives the activities that is happening, where is the I that is thinking or acting coming from, all of this is coming from the light of awareness that is our own being. And that light of awareness is unchanging, like the light on a screen, as we said. Furthermore, we can also see that just as all the images on the screen are themselves forms of light, and therefore non different from the light, similarly, all the various images that come and go, the thought formations, the sensory perceptions, everything is simply also forms of awareness itself. Now, even a material investigation done by physicists reveals that if we go deep into matter, there is nothing at all, there is just space. Therefore, even though we have an illusion of physical matter and therefore bodies and things and people and places, all of this is itself simply forms of awareness, play of light of awareness within the light of awareness, just as the play of light images on a screen within the light that animates the entire screen or illuminates the entire screen. And therefore, if we recognize that this light of awareness is our true nature, then that remains unaffected regardless of whatever activities come and go, whatever situations come and go. And we simply can rest in the ground of our own awareness. And a couple of other misconceptions about self inquiry which are related to this to be pointed out. One is that this is different from witnessing. We are not witnessing thoughts or witnessing sensations, which is a certain kind of meditation called mindfulness, which has its own benefits of slowing down thoughts and all that. But here we are directly going to the source. That's why it's called the direct way, where we are noticing that even when we are witnessing, there is an activity of witness and what is being witnessed. And that activity itself happens in the light of awareness. That is the light of awareness that permeates the witness and the witnessed. And therefore, awareness is prior to all activities, including meditation itself. Therefore, self inquiry is not even a meditation to be precise, but the direct recognition of ourself. And so, therefore, it's different from witnessing, it's prior to even witnessing. That's one. The second is also that people ask, if awareness is our true nature, why are we not aware of everything that's going on and only that which goes on in this particular body mind. That's because awareness is the light that permeates the entire screen, but the character is only aware of its actions. So, if we look at it from the perspective of the character, of course, the character is only aware of its actions. Just as the light image on a screen of a particular character is not aware of the entire screen, but the light is permeating and illuminating the entire screen. Now, the other important thing to notice here is that the light is not watching, so to speak, or witnessing, as we already said, the activities on the screen. The light simply is. The light illuminates all the characters and remains untouched and unmoved by the activities on the screen. Similarly, the light of awareness within is not actively witnessing or watching our physical, mental, sensory activities. It is simply the light in which all these activities happen. And therefore, activities keep on going, but the light remains unaffected, unmoving, and not watching or witnessing anything but simply aware of itself. Therefore, the light of awareness is one undivided light of awareness, whereas there are apparently multiple characters who are each aware of their specific body mind activities, just as the movie screen analogy goes. So, so that's one thing. And the last thing to point out is also that the question comes as to why am I, having recognized this, having recognized that my true nature is pure awareness, not able to abide in it, but constantly pulled into the false nature as the character, as the false self. Uh, this is a very big topic in and of itself, but I think the important thing to notice here is that recognition is very important, but it is not something that once we recognize or glimpse, then it is never going to cover our vision, so to speak, because there is the pull of the character and its tendencies and its conditioning, which constantly has a gravitational pull towards the false self, the false nature as a character. So, this is where self inquiry is a constant alertness, and it can also be viewed in a different way as an abiding love for our true nature. So, alertness is one way to look at it, but a probably sweeter way to look at it is the the beauty of being the beauty of being there's a dog there. There's a beauty of being free of all these um, coming and going of the character and its images, and the eternally free, pure, one true nature of our true self. So, to be constantly either alert, or which is, you can say, inquiry on a regular, on a continuous basis, or if we are blessed by grace to be full of love for our true nature, and therefore having the gravitational pull shift towards our true nature by grace, then we are gradually freed of the pull towards the character and simply able to abide as our true nature. Of course, that's a very big topic because there is the question of conditioning and the thoughts it generates, uh, and therefore the vasanas or the tendencies that come out of it, and that is where many meditation techniques are sometimes useful to slow down thoughts, or to or similarly chanting and taking some devotional practices are great to sort of uh, rewire the tendencies, let's say. But the direct way of self inquiry is to go to our very source, the very self of being. And if we can hold on to that, then there is no other meditation technique, no other method, no other practice necessary. These are only secondary, ancillary things that sometimes are helpful if the pull of the vasanas is very strong. But this is a is the highway, or the direct way, as Sri Ramana Maharishi always pointed out, the way to hold on to our true nature directly. That's the essence and the purpose of self inquiry.